Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Can Keithie Take the Heat? This week, or this month, I should say, I'm going to be doing an episode. I'm going to be doing a recipe from JR's cookbook from the WWE Superstars. This one's going to be Shane McMahon's Broiled Smackdown Scampi. I'm going to be making this. I'm also going to be making, along with it, a risotto, so that everybody can that we can use as kind of the dish to go with it. Because the shrimp scampi can be made with either pasta or a rice or whatever you want to do. So whatever starch it is. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start to get these shrimp kind of marinating in the scampi sauce, so to speak. So what I had done is I went out and I got some of the big jumbo shrimp. And I've already kind of like pulled these, took the tails off. They've already been kind of cut and deveined. So I'm going to let these marinate while I get the risotto going before we put them in the broiler. You want to put them in a broiler. They're only going to take 10-15 minutes to cook once we put them in the broiler, because shrimp cooks very fast, so you don't have to go nuts with letting this all go. But the recipe does call for 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature. I went ahead. It was 3/4 of a stick. I kind of melted it already. You want to do about 1/4 cup of olive oil, a tablespoon of minced garlic, a tablespoon of minced onion, a tablespoon of minced shallots, 2 tablespoons of fresh chives, 1/4 of a tablespoon of paprika, salt to taste, pepper to taste, and it says 2 pounds large shrimp, peeled and deveined. So I'm not going crazy with the measurements because it's just all going to be like a marinade anyway. So in here I have my shallots and my garlic that I've already kind of minced up. Toss that in there. And I have my onion. I really did just like one big onion, or one medium-sized onion. Again, we're going to be putting this on a tray to broil anyway, so, you know, it's not going to be crazy. I got my butter. And let me put olive oil. I'm going to kind of eyeball it a little. All right. And then let me do salt and pepper. So I got, obviously, my salt. Do my pepper. Okay, and paprika. Paprika, go light on the paprika. You don't need a lot of it. It's a very strong seasoning, or a very strong spice, so don't go nuts with it. And then I'm going to wait to put the chives on. Just first I'm going to mix this. Just to kind of mix all this up. Let those flavors get to know each other. All right, let me add the chives. Okay. All right. So we're going to let these marinate for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the risotto. I kind of looked it up, I'm going a little garlic heavy. It's funny because on the end of this recipe, it does say variation. Here's the Smackdown part of the recipe. Sprinkle some extra garlic either into the marinade sauce or directly onto the shrimp. So with that, I'm going to take that cue and kind of make a garlic risotto. So I diced up a shallot, and I chopped up a ton of garlic. So I'm going to saute the garlic and the shallots in olive oil. And while that's going on, that'll obviously reduce the flavor of the raw garlic, and it'll make it kind of come out and be nice and roasted almost. And then we'll start the risotto. And once I get that going, we'll come back and take a look.
Start it up. Introducing new Starburst California fruit chews. 4 mouth-watering flavors like strawberry watermelon and Malibu punch.
Hey everyone, so I'm starting up my risotto right now. So first thing I did is I got in a little pot here, saucepan, or rather pot. I have olive oil that I put in, and I put my garlic and my shallots in there. And I'm just letting them kind of cook down a little bit, getting some color on them, so to speak. Again, the reason why I want to do this is take off a little bit of the raw flavor, because this is really the thing with the risotto is you're going to be putting a lot of stock into it. So I didn't want to go too much with like the raw garlic flavor. But this has got some good color on it. So now what I'm going to do is add a cup and a half of arborio rice and just put that in. And you want that in dry with just the olive oil and the garlic and the onion to kind of like add some liquid to this. And you're stirring that around, and what you're doing is basically you're just toasting that rice. Okay? And what I will do is take this through to the first step, which is adding in the wine. And I don't think I have any white wine. So I might just do, let me see if I have any. I don't know if I have any white wine. I don't think I have any white wine in the fridge. I think I only have red wine. I do. I only have red wine. So you know what I'll do? I think I have a little bit of sherry. So in lieu of white wine, you don't really even need to do it, but it's one of the things that makes it kind of just, they say like kicks it up a notch. If I can go old school emerald, and you want to just kind of kick it up a notch with a little bit of wine. But like I said, I got a little bit of Marsala. That'll be fine. So I'm going to add a little Marsala wine, kind of just for flavor. So, and you really just need to, not a lot, very little. And then you stir that around. And you let that evaporate. And then what you want to do is you want to do 4 cups of stock. So I actually went with vegetable stock this time around instead of chicken stock. I'm kind of just going as simple as I can, or as, not vegan, but as friendly as I can. I'm going stock. So I got myself some organic vegetable stock, and you want to do 4 cups of the stock into, and you kind of put it in intervals, because you have to let the rice kind of absorb all the stock, like a cup at a time. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And what I'll do is, because the risotto is going to take a little bit longer than the scampi, I'm going to cook this up, get this kind of going, probably get to be about 2 of the 3 cups in, and then I'll throw the scampi in. So I'll come back when we're prepping that.
The folks at Night Court are moving fast. Wow! To a new night and new time. A special 1-hour Night Court, Wednesday.
Hey everybody, so we're back now, and so I got my risotto cooking. I'm letting it simmering. You want to make sure you, as you call, mother it. So you always want to just kind of keep an eye on it, because it can go from bad to worse. It can go from great to bad to worse, like that. So while that's going on, I have my tray here with my shrimp. And as I said, I kind of put the marinade on it. So I'm going to put these. Now it says to do like 2 minutes, flip them 2 minutes, and then they should be done. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to let them sit for 2 minutes. And I'll take them out. I'll flip them. And then once they're done, I'll show you how it looks. And then the last thing you want to do, the last step you want to do with the risotto, is you want to add in Parmesan cheese. You can add as little or as much as you want. Obviously, the more, the better, because it's Parmesan cheese and it's delicious. But you can obviously do as much as you want or as little as you want. It's your choice. And there is no real recipe, right, Tim Capel? So once this is done and the shrimp is out, I'll show you what it looks like at the end. And that should be it. We should be good to go. All right, so this is what they look like coming out of the oven. Now, obviously, I still got my risotto going, but like I said, once that's all ready to go, I'm going to put in my Parmesan cheese. I wanted to kind of follow up on the recipe today. Just kind of give you, also I wanted to read a little JR blurb on the recipe. As you can see, this goes shout out to Sean Kidd, our pod daddy. We have the Western States Heritage title in the background there. Told him I would give that a shout out. So the recipe that I cooked the shrimp came out perfect and fantastic. So I follow in the recipe for the Shane McMahon's broiled scampi shrimp. It came out great. So the little blurb, from Jim Ross we have is here. Okay, Mr. McMahon's only son is just a little bit hyper. He's never tried Sanka, so this tasty shrimp dish really works for Shane because it doesn't take long to complete. Even Shane-O-Mac can handle 4 minutes of cooking time. Don't be afraid to add more garlic. It's good for you. Again, the recipe for Shane McMahon's broiled Smackdown shrimp is 6 tablespoons or 3/4 of a stick of unsalted butter at room temperature, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1 tablespoon minced garlic, 1 tablespoon minced onion, 1 tablespoon minced shallots, 2 tablespoons snipped fresh chives, 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, salt to taste, freshly ground black pepper to taste, and 2 pounds large shrimp peeled and deveined. You preheat the boiler in a large bowl, combine all the ingredients except for the shrimp, blend thoroughly. Toss the shrimp in the mixture until thoroughly coated. Broil the shrimp as close to the flame as possible for 2 minutes on each side or until pink. Serve immediately. In the variation, it says, here's the Smackdown part of the recipe. Sprinkle some extra garlic either into the marinade sauce or directly on the shrimp. Mix about 4 servings. So I had 12 individual jumbo shrimp. So my nephew, my brother, and I had dinner, and we each got 4. So that worked out. You could have, obviously, depending on how many shrimp you want to do. This would probably be great if you made, if you got little ones and you made, a ton of it. It probably would be really good. There is no, lime or lemon or any kind of an acid juice, so it's not going to, partially cook the shrimp, because that's what happens when, you add lime juice. It tends to, the acid starts to cook the shrimp, so it doesn't matter. The shrimp, like I said, it was 2 minutes. I flipped them, 2 minutes. That was it. The only thing I will say is that I was a little disappointed with the risotto. And not that the risotto it didn't come out bad. It just didn't taste as good as I normally do. And I think a lot of that had to do with that I used vegetable stock. And maybe what I should have done, which was an idea I had, but I didn't do, is I didn't cook I didn't put the garlic cloves in water and kind of cook them in the oven and have them boiled that way or saute them that way. I kind of just chopped it and I sauteed it in the pan with the shallot before I put the rice in. If I was to do it again, I probably would change up adding, also, you know what? The fact that I had marsala and not white wine or sherry probably could have contributed to that anyway. It wasn't my best effort, and my nephew didn't like it at all, and my brother said, you've cooked better risottos in the past. So I'm going to chop that up to me trying to add a little bit. In this recipe, though, you could easily, because it's a scampi, and a lot of times, a scampi, you can do, with just a little pasta or something. So a pasta or a regular white rice. I tried to be a little bit more, innovative and do, a risotto. That's okay. Do what you want. Like I said, it wasn't part of the recipe, so, that's on me. But in the future, I would definitely use, a white wine. Probably I would put the garlic. I would do the garlic in, cover them in olive oil, cook them in the oven for a while, let them kind of get, broiled that way, and then maybe mash them up as because they're going to be soft and delicious. And then I would do chicken stock, probably, or at least add better than bouillon, the chicken paste that I like to use. So just to add a little bit more. But like I said, I was trying something different, didn't work out, but the shrimp was fantastic. So highly recommend you do this. So that is going to do it for this episode of Can Keithie Take the Heat? Thank you for joining me. Please listen to everything that we do here on the Backbone Wrestling Network, Backbone Movie Network, Backbone Cooking Network. We have lots of things. I'm on The Shit Take with Sean Kidd. I'm on Clash of the Champones that I do with everybody rotating every month. We also do lots of other stuff as well. Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? And the Hands of Z, new Jen on a Mission. Every Monday morning, you can listen to Logan Crosland do the Cross Up, where he tells everybody about all the events that happened during wrestling of the previous week. Don't forget to check out everything that we do over also, or don't forget to check everything out on the North-South Connection Podcast Network. I want to do a special shout out to my good friend Jennifer Smith on the Jenny Position, where they do Talking Docs with Logan Crosland. Also X-Men Exposition, the X-Men podcast with Tim Capel, as well as 9021 No So with Tim Capel and JT Rosero. And hear me on GFA Live with Petey Winston, as well as my own show, A La Carte with Keithie. Not necessarily about cooking, but A La Carte with Keithie, my own personal feed. So thank you so much for joining. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.